Well, that's quite interesting. Just had a Liberal Democrat canvasser come round, talking about how wonderful the politics were. So I let him drone on. He looked like Catweasel. He's like that kind of grey pallor with little goatee beard and wispy hair. And he was chatting away, from like fell walking and bird watching. Nice enough fella. And he said, by voting for the Liberal Democrats, we'd sort the economy out. And I said, oh, you would you? And then what about the EU? What about the European Union? Well, yes, he said, you see, this is one of our policies. We believe we should be back in the European Union. I said, and why do you think that then? Why do you think we should be back in? He said, well, because, we can get trade deals and we're part of the... I said, what, part of the shit show? Part of the failing economy, the sclerotic politics. You do realise that the parliamentarians we've got, the 650 weasels we already pay, don't do their work any cheaper because you go and employ another 700 in Brussels. You know that, don't you? They're still milk as dry. Well, that's just how it... I said, so you actually believe then, really, what the Lib Dems believe? You believe in two lots of government, don't you? You believe in having our own, paying them 85 grand a year, plus all their expenses and their second homes and the cheap food and the discounted travel. You believe in stomaching all that and then inviting in 750 other, is it 700 in Brussels, to legislate us even more. Why do we need two lots of government? That's just not cost effective. And why should we pay? Look what's happened. We've paid to have hospitals and roads built in Poland and Eastern Europe, and ours you can't even drive down one without damaging your tyres. Our hospitals are decrepit and filthy because we haven't got the right sort of staff. Because we're paying them through Serco, the cleaning staff, because they can do it cheaper, because the National Health charges too much money, and they don't care who does it. They just have something dangling on the end of a mop, swirling it round. Nobody's cleaning it up properly. Our hospitals are dirty and understaffed for frontline healthcare workers. I said, and where were you when they were sacking 40,000 care workers in our care home because they wouldn't take a new drug in their arm? Where were you then? Why weren't you standing up for that? Nobody should have been sacked. You didn't even have any proof to tell them to do it. It wasn't even done properly. But you didn't stand up for them, did you? Where were you then with all this, like you're going to make Britain better? Are we going to make Britain better by hog-tying it to another lot of government? With the greatest globe of reach of any nation in that EU lot, because of our former empire. So people did trade deals with the EU to access the British market. And you'd have us back in, paying that set of comedians. So, no, I don't think you sort the economy out at all. And if being in the European Union is part of sorting the economy out, tell me why Germany's absolutely goosed. Tell me why Weimar, the former CEO of the German stock market, said at a dinner, in front of everyone, it's over. The halcyon days of Germany being a power force are over. Finished. Tell me how, if being part of the European Union, they can do that to a country like Germany, the finest manufacturing in the world. A disciplined nation who don't have Facebook on at work, go to work every day, talk about the job that they're doing, and you're telling me that we'd be better off in with that set of comedians that's managed to trash Germany. Did I spit there? I think I did. That's managed to trash Germany. Not to mention France is a basket case anyway. France is in, and if it weren't for them making their African nations pay the colonial debt back, they'd be viewed as a third world economy. Did you know that? He looked at me anyway. Well, no, actually, I didn't. I was talking more, what we can do for us here locally. I said, well, I don't think you can do very much if globally you're thinking of dragging us back into that bunch. I said, this constituency voted to leave anyway. So don't you think you should be a party that takes notice of your constituents? Because what we wanted was to leave. I said, you've got nothing on offer here, mate, because you're not Liberal Democrats anymore. And Tories aren't Tories and Labour aren't Labour. There's no party for the working man. There's no party for the small business. And you've all basically morphed into one big bloody mush of nothingness, offering us in this country very little, apart from schemes to come up with outer taxes to get more money out of us and fines and send it off to some batshit crazy bloody country that's going to squander it. That's what I see stood at my front door right now. And he went, well, it's certainly been a robust debate. I said, it's not been a robust debate. You haven't said much. You've not come back with anything. You've nothing to offer me. If you've nothing to offer me, you've nothing to offer anybody else that you knock on the doors. Because if people actually had the, nerve to tell you what they think, you'd realise that what you're punting out isn't going to work. You've nothing on offer. I won't be voting for you. I'll be voting for the Reform candidate, somebody who's talking some common sense. And I said to him, what was your position on the migrants in the hotel? Well, of course, obviously it's a very expensive way of doing it, but these are desperate people. I said, are they? Desperate people, brand new iPhones, free medical care, food in their bellies, money in their pocket, fags in the gob, and you think they're desperate. You see, I see desperate as different. I see people with 2 and 3 kids queuing up at food banks that are in work that can't afford to make ends meet because our energy's overpriced, because our food's overpriced, because we're expected to buy electric vehicles that nobody can afford and change our heating over to heat pumps that nobody can afford, that won't work unless the house has actually been purpose-built to accommodate them with insulation, etc. That's what I see, and you're punting all that out. You're in favour of all that, you lot. So I said, anyway, you're not going to convert me, so you better go off and try and see if you can convert someone else. Or even better still, go home and have a cup of tea and have a think about what I've said and see if you're really canvassing for the right party. We didn't fall out. Well, we could have done, but we didn't. Anyway, I don't think he left happy.